If you've ever wondered if republishing or unpublishing your beautiful children's book would make sense for you and your book as a marketing strategy, then this video is for you. Hi there, I'm Eevi, an award-winning children's author and ghostwriter over on eevijones.com and the creator of Children's Book University. I create videos specifically for children's authors, so be sure to subscribe so you don't miss any of my videos. Something I get asked surprisingly often is if we as authors can republish our children's book. And then the very first question I always ask then is this: why is it that you wish to republish your book? What is the reason? What is the outcome you are looking or hoping for? And the reason I ask these questions is because there are actually a number of different ways and strategies to go about this. So in this video, we will look at what republishing a book actually means, the 4 main reasons for wanting to republish our book, the 2 options of republishing our book, and when we should unpublish our book. So let's jump right in. In order to understand what republishing our book actually means, I'd like to look at the 3 different publishing stages our book can be in, and that would be published, unpublished, and republished. Published means that our book is live and it is readily available to be ordered on, for example, Amazon.com. Unpublished means that as the author, we have turned off our book's distribution, so it is no longer available to be purchased from us. And republished in its traditional sense means that the book's sales are interrupted either because the first version of our book is permanently out of print or for temporary reasons such as us making quick revisions to our book. There are 4 main reasons why we as the author may want to consider republishing our book. So let's look at each of them individually. Reason 1 for republishing is often the case for traditionally published books. Here, our book was previously published by a traditional publisher, but it is now out of print, meaning the publisher has decided not to print any new copies. If the author is able to successfully request rights reversion from the publisher, then they should be able to republish their work themselves. Reason 2 for republishing is often the case if we, for example, have discovered a typo in our book, or we decide to add a new feature like a direct review link to the interior of our book so our readers can more easily and quickly leave a review for our beautiful book. If you are interested in how to create such a direct review link, I made sure to share a video of mine on this in the description below. Or perhaps we decide to simply change and optimize our book cover to make it visually more appealing and more effective. I have a separate video on how to optimize our book cover as well, so I share that one in the description as well. This is by far one of the easiest ways to republish our book, because here all we have to do is go to our KDP dashboard and upload our new interior file or our new cover sheet. As long as our changes don't result in a page count change of more than 10% of our interior, we are free to make those changes anytime. The sales of our books that are set up on KDP won't be interrupted through such updates. Any books ordered before our update will be printed with the previous version of our book, and any books ordered after our updates go live will be printed with the new version. So something noteworthy here is that our republishing doesn't actually involve the publishing of a new book. Republishing here simply means to update our book files. That's all. Everything stays the same, including our ISBN, so no new ISBN would be required here. Reason 3 for republishing is often the case if the first time we published our book didn't go as planned. So perhaps the sales were much lower than expected, or our book has less reviews than we would like it to have. Looking at reason 3, something noteworthy here is that just like with our reason 2, our republishing doesn't actually involve the publishing of a new book or a new version, or the unpublishing and republishing per se. Here, the republishing our book would be more of a marketing and revival strategy. Here we simply take our existing book as is and bring more awareness to it. For example, if we never had an official launch party for it, we could now set one up. Or if we have never shared our beautiful children's book with our friends and family, we could start doing that. We wouldn't actually change anything, but simply just start sharing about our beautiful book. Relaunching our book that way is such an underrated strategy, because something I have noticed over the years is that so many new authors try to put their book into this world without sharing this amazing accomplishment with anyone. Not even those who would love to support them and cheer for them the most, their own friends and family members. And that's because we are oftentimes too shy or modest to do so. When we are republishing our book this way, we wouldn't even have to draw attention to the fact that it has already been available for a while. Instead, we can simply take advantage of the fact that we never shared our book in the first place. If we are relaunching our book this way in order to spread more awareness and to let our friends and family know about our book, we could, for example, set up a launch team. We could also enroll our book into KDP Select. That way, we'd be able to offer our ebook for free for a number of days, which we could then use to get even more eyeballs on our book. I have separate videos on the creation of a launch team and on the use of KDP Select, so I made sure to share those with you in the description below. And for an actual step-by-step strategy with just that, I also have my 30-day launch mastery, which walks us through all the step-by-step to make sure we're making the absolute most out of our relaunching efforts and our relaunching strategy. Now, our fourth and final reason to republish our book is a bit different. Here, reason 4 for republishing would come into play if we decide to, for example, make more drastic changes to our story that would result in page count changes by more than 10%. Or perhaps we decide to simply add more pages that again would result in page count changes by more than 10%. Or let's say you watched my perfect title formula videos to help you optimize your title, and you decide to change the title or subtitle of your children's book. Here, republishing would be different, because unlike with reasons 2 and 3, we would have to publish a completely new version here, meaning we would have to set up our book as a completely new book with a completely new Amazon sales page and a new ISBN. When it comes to republishing our book this way, we essentially have two main options. Option 1 would be to upload our newest version as a new edition. To add our book as a new edition, we would simply enter an edition number in the edition field during the setup of our book over on KDP. And this edition number tells readers whether the book is an original version or an updated version of a previously published book. If we are setting up our republished work as a new edition, we don't have to unpublish the first version unless we want to. So for example, if we have now a first edition and a second edition of a book, we can leave up both. But if we decide to republish our book as a second edition, then this option doesn't allow us to make any significant changes to the title and the author name. So that's definitely something to consider here. Those will have to remain the same. In general, I would recommend to go the new edition route only in special circumstances. For example, Yobi Yamada's precious book, What to Do with an Idea, just came out with a brand new 10th anniversary edition. So if we have a special occasion like an anniversary or a special fan edition, then this might be a great way to go. Here, the new edition isn't meant to replace the previous one, but it is meant to add to it. This option would require a new ISBN for our new edition. The advantage of this option is a big one, so this one is my ninja tip right here. Republishing our book as a new edition allows us to copy or transfer our reviews to that new edition. So again, looking at Yobi Yamada's anniversary edition that was published in October 2023 shows the exact same 5,867 reviews the original edition of this book accumulated since it was first published in 2014. So if we republish as a new edition, we can request for our reviews to be displayed under the new edition as well. Option 2, on the other hand, would be to first unpublish the previous version and then upload our newest version as a completely new book. That would be a good option if we want a complete fresh do-over. It's essentially a fresh slate strategy. So for example, if we weren't happy with the first published version, if we decide to give this updated version a completely new title, perhaps a subtitle, if we made any changes to the author or illustrator, or if we made any significant changes to the interior. So a literal fresh start. And this option would require a new ISBN for our republished work as well, just like with the previous option. Now let's take a quick look at how we would go about unpublishing our book. To unpublish our work, we can do so directly on our KDP dashboard. So if we wanted to unpublish our paperback version, we would click on the 3 dots right next to our book's paperback version on our bookshelf and select the Unpublished Print Book option. Here we will be informed that KDP will stop printing our book, but that third parties may still sell copies of our paperback on Amazon. And so our paperback's detail page will actually remain live over on Amazon. To unpublish our ebook version, we will click on the ellipsis right next to our book's ebook version again and select the Unpublished ebook option. Here we'll be informed that KDP will make our ebook unavailable to buy and also unsearchable from the Amazon storefront. So it won't be available for purchase unless we republish it. So while the paperback sales page will remain on Amazon after we unpublish our book, the ebook sales page will disappear. Now, something we want to make sure to consider here is that because we have to first unpublish the first version, all the reviews our book may have gotten already will be lost. So unlike with a new edition option, we won't be able to keep or transfer the reviews here. So, what would be some circumstances where neither a new edition nor unpublishing our book would be necessary? What changes could we undertake that wouldn't require us to unpublish or republish our book? One is what I mentioned already. If we make changes to our interior that wouldn't result in page count changes by more than 10%. Two, or any cover changes as long as our author name and our title remains the same. We can change our cover anytime without any unpublishing. Three, another type of change that wouldn't require us to publish a new edition or to unpublish and republish would be if we wanted to add our book to a book series. Adding our book to a book series can be quite beneficial. So if you have any questions on how to add our book to a series and what all the benefits are of doing so, because there are actually quite a few, make sure to watch my video on that as well. I made sure to share it in the description below. And four, another change that wouldn't require us to publish a new edition or to unpublish and republish is if we wanted to add a subtitle to our ebook. Now, while we won't be able to add a subtitle to our hardcover and paperback version of our book after it has already been published, we can do so anytime with our ebook. So even after our ebook has already been published, we can add a subtitle. Now, something I felt would be really important to mention in this video is that this option to unpublish and republish our work shouldn't become the norm. Instead, it should be done as an exception only if it's absolutely necessary. Unpublishing a book is not meant to be a fixed bad reviews method where we simply unpublish our story and then republish a new version of our book just because it may have received a few negative reviews. Every single book, no matter how big or how successful, will have negative reviews. It's inevitable because we can't be everyone's cup of tea, right? And that's absolutely okay. So instead of using negative reviews as an excuse to simply unpublish our book, we should first try to learn from those reviews if they are valid and provide some constructive criticism, and then try to address the issues that were shared in those reviews. That way, we can make those tweaks and simply upload our revised version without the interruption of our sales. And then we will want to use this opportunity to relaunch our book by spreading awareness and by driving new traffic to it. Remember, you wrote your beautiful children's book for a reason. Let this reason motivate you to now share your book far and wide. I have so many videos and other resources to help you with just that, so let's give it our all. I so hope you found this video helpful when it comes to when to choose what option. Please give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't yet. It really encourages me to keep making free videos for you just like this one. Here's to sharing the best possible version of our book far and wide. Bye!